Well, Harry, last year at the same end, so nearly the hero. This year, you made it count. We saw the celebrations at the end. Does that just mean everything?
Yeah, it means everything. I mean, listen, they've had the better of us over the last few years. We know that, and it's not been good enough for our club, and we've not give our fans nowhere near enough days like today. So it's been a long time coming to this ground and picking up 3 points. But it means. I think it's the old cliche, it's only 3 points, but it's definitely not. It means a lot more than that to the boys, to the clubs, to the fans. I've been here 7 years now, and to come to this ground every time and not get 3 points has been tough. So it's for the fans, and I hope they have a great night tonight, because of course it is only 3 points on the table, but to come here and do it over Liverpool, and like I said, they have been a top team over the years, and they've been a lot better in recent years, so it's nice to get one over them.
Yeah, great moment for him. United's latest winner at Anfield since John O'Shea in 2007. Let's have a look at it then. What a moment for him. What a rush of adrenaline for Harry Maguire. As you said, Michael, he's scored a few really significant goals this year.
Yeah, he's got a knack of it in the box, Harry. You know, he finds that back post really well, and when he gets in there, he's calm with his finish. You know, and he's done it so often. And he pulls off the back. I think it's Konate. He's in that back slot, and there's almost 3 of them really there, ready to head it in. And he's had some massive moments. I've said it. I think that's probably the biggest one for me for what it means. The timing of it. It's a fantastic header, guided into the bottom corner. You can see by his reaction how much it means. You know, he cares an awful lot. I've known him. I've worked with him. He's so desperate to do well. That'll mean the world to him. That.
I was going to say, you've seen him day in, day out very closely. Does he deserve that in a way with the attitude he has around the place? I'm not making it personally, but I'm so pleased for him, because he's done some really good things for the football club, and he's been through the mill at times as well, and he's had some unfair times, but he's come back unbelievably well and turned into a leader and a real talisman in big moments last season as well, at times with big goals. And it takes a lot, you know. It takes a lot that when you're up against it, and show real character and mentality. There's no hiding place at a club like United, and I'm just so pleased for him personally for that, and for the club to see that go in and see what it means to him. It's fantastic. Yeah, to say it's been a roller coaster for Harry Maguire is probably something of an understatement.
Well, yeah, exactly that. I mean, any player at Manchester United for the last decade, it's been tough times, but anybody that's survived those 10 years or whatever, then full credit to him. And Harry Maguire is one of those. I mean, his career has been one of such a high, you know, to do so well, and then to get a move like he did to Manchester. But then, since then, it's been mainly of pain, of not making excuses, but always having to come out and front it. I mean, he's the captain at the end of the day. He's always the face. He's always had a broad pair of shoulders. He's always scored important goals, actually. But in the main, it's been disappointment for him. And, you know, he is one of the good guys. He is one of the nice guys. He leads by example, and you can't, you know, take that away from him. So it's a nice moment for him. And obviously a nice moment for Manchester United. It was a good goal. I mean, it was a great ball in from Bruno Fernandes. It was a little bit loopy in terms of the cross, so from a defensive point of view, you're getting plenty of time to readjust and try to head that one out, but they were outnumbered 3-1 at the back, Liverpool. And when it drops to him, Manchester United wouldn't want it on anybody's head other than his, because I know he plays centre-half, but he doesn't miss with his head much.
No. And the irony was, when we heard from Ruben Amorim before the game, and he was asked why he'd picked Harry Maguire and not Yoro today, he gave us 2 or 3 reasons, and the last one was his heading ability.
Absolutely spot on. We talked about both boxers, you know, as much, and he defended particularly well, Harry, today, as United did in general, really, and limited sort of Liverpool to many chances in and around the box, few shots from outside. But that's what he is. That's what he's a threat, you know, and it's not a one-off. And the manager was right in the end and kept him on this time. You know, he's changed the back line at times. He kept him on is another point. Brought Luke off and brought Yoro on and left Harry on and got the benefit.
The other thing is, I think games like this suit him more than any other types of games, because when you're almost defending a little bit deeper, he's not having to worry about people running in behind him, a bit of pace in behind. He can defend the edge of his box. There's not many players that are better than Harry Maguire at doing that, heading anything that comes into your box with aggression. He's decent on the ball, so the ball does end up at his feet. he's more than capable. And then, of course, set pieces at the other end or attempts like that. So I think today, you know, when the chips are down, it's the type of game that he probably revels in more so than playing a lesser team, playing a high line, you know, and the team that are going to counter-attack that could really expose him. I think that's a tailor-made game for Harry Maguire.
Let's speak to one of the other Manchester United heroes alongside Harry Maguire. Matthijs de Ligt is waiting to talk to us at Anfield. Matthijs, well done. I mean, to be a Manchester United player, to win at Anfield against Liverpool, it hasn't happened since 2016. How good does that feel today?
Yeah, obviously, amazing feeling. I think it's been a long time, so to win it in this phase of the season, such an important game, is obviously a really nice feeling.
And to win it in the way you did, through Harry Maguire having conceded the equaliser, must have been some adrenaline rush.
Yeah, obviously the fact that we could still score the winner 2-1 says enough about our mental strength today. I think we were all really hyped and really. The focus was really high today, and this is something that's amazing. And I think the most important thing is that we keep continuing that, even in other games, because that's something that we lack sometimes. So with today, I'm really happy. And
you're happy for Harry Maguire? He's a scorer of big goals in the last 12 months or so, isn't he?
No, I'm really happy for H. I'm really happy for H. He played a really good game today. It's not easy to come in after not have played the last game, so it's a big compliment to him, but not only to him. I think also today the subs made a really big difference. If you see how, for example, Leniora comes in last 50 minutes. As a defender, to come in last minutes is the most difficult thing to do, but how he did it is amazing. So not only H, but the whole squad today was amazing. And
to keep Liverpool at bay the way you did when they're attacking the Kop, it must have been a real test of concentration there at the end.
Yeah, today was a game that you really have to be concentrated, especially with the crosses they put in. If you lose your concentration for 1 second, it's a goal. And this is something that we did really well today. Unfortunately, the goal we conceded was maybe just a little moment that was the lack of concentration. But for the rest, I think we did it really well.
And could this finally be the trigger? I mean, it's the first time under your manager you've won back-to-back Premier League games. A fantastic place to do it. Can this kick you on now to some consistency?
Let's hope so. Obviously, it's the first time since a long time that we win 2 games in a row. So this is obviously, for the confidence, really good. Winning at Anfield against the champions of last year is obviously also for the confidence amazing. So, yeah, let's continue on this road. Keep working hard, and hopefully the next game against Brighton I think we put in the same performance.
And just to put it into context, you're only the third team to win at Anfield in the last 3 years in the Premier League. You've been at United long enough now to know what this fixture means to your supporters.
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
You know what this win means to Manchester United supporters now. You've been at the club long enough.
Yeah, of course I know. Less week in the street sometimes. Some people are saying, hey, Sunday is Liverpool, you have to be ready. So you know what it means to the people and also to the fans. You know, we had a lot of difficult moments last season. This season also some difficult moments, but to give them also some joy in this phase of the season is something that, as a player, gives also a lot of joy to give them a nice evening. I think every United fan today can enjoy this win and have a good dinner tonight.
Absolutely. You too. Well played. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
That is one Dutch defender. Here is another, the Liverpool captain, Virgil van Dijk.
Virgil, obviously you wanted desperately to end the losing run today. It hasn't quite happened. Why do you think not?
I think because obviously we conceded a very sloppy second goal. We worked so hard to get back into the game. We created opportunities to score the winner. But if you concede the second goal like that, obviously that's a disappointing part. And I think overall, if you look at the game, we were far too rushed. I think we were making wrong decisions at time, and that was also the moments where we were open if we lost the ball. And disappointed day.
Far too rushed because of the games you've lost, and almost trying too hard. Maybe, do you think?
No, I think United was obviously very patient. They didn't press us that high. They didn't, they let us on the ball, and I think we made rash decisions at time where obviously we had to stay maybe a little bit calm, but we still obviously created many opportunities to score and win the game. But the reality is that we lost, and it's an interesting time now that we have to stick together, and not only us as players, but together with our fans. And and everyone that wants us to win.
Yeah, interesting time. Virgil van Dijk says they have to stick together. They've got the character and the belief. He was saying that to me this week when I went to the training ground to talk to him.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen teams losing 4 games before on the row, and you think, wow, where is the next win going to come from? The confidence looks gone. They're playing awful. They can't score. I don't see that with Liverpool at the moment. You know, going away to Chelsea in the last game, lots of teams lose at Stamford Bridge, and they lost them with the last kick of the game. It was a 50-50 game. Today, again, they played pretty well. I mean, they do look a little bit ragged at the back. Certainly in the first half. I thought they looked a bit stronger in the second half. The first half, they looked a little bit ragged at the back. But they're going forward and they're creating chances. As I mentioned earlier, they hit the post 2 or 3 times.
What about the chance at 2-1 for Cody Gakpo? I mean, most other days this goes in and we're having a different conversation, aren't we?
And that is football. That's OK. Creating chances, missing chances. That will always happen. The more chances you create, the more you're going to miss. So this is always going to happen. Yeah, it's a big miss. Yes, obviously, it might have been a game changer. Of course it would have. But as long as you're creating the chances, then Liverpool will be OK. And as I say, I don't look at Liverpool thinking, wow, this is a team that are really lacking in all kinds. I actually think quite the opposite. I actually think they played quite well today. And Manchester United, you know, did really well themselves. Full credit to Manchester United. So everybody will be hurt in the Liverpool dressing room. The fans will go home a little bit unhappy, let's say. But I still think they've got a lot to look forward to. And, you know, put it this way, when Arsenal are watching the Premier League results next week, again, they'll be thinking, hope Liverpool lose. They're still our big challengers. And that's the case. Yeah,
for me, I think with the Liverpool one, I think it's all good teams going to great teams. You're going to suffer at certain points. And it's how you get through that period and to turn into a really great team, to go back-to-back or back-to-back-to-back in terms of leagues. It's never smooth. You don't win every game. You go through patches and like Michael said, I think they're playing well enough to... We spoke about before the game, actually, about Virgil van Dijk seemed to be like, we'll be all right, we'll get through it, and he had that element of confidence. He obviously very disappointed speaking in the interview. We've just finished the game, but I think when the dust settles, I think they'll still take that. A bit of belief and confidence. But that's the challenge, to turn to be good to very good to great, to keep that. And it's a bit of a slightly new team, and to evolve, I think you've got to have that riding out the tougher times, and I think they will. I think they're doing enough to get, but it is a test for them. It is a challenge for them.
Michael made a really good point, I thought, before the game, when he was talking about, as players, you lose 2 or 3 games, and when you've got that elite mindset, when you are the champions, when you are winners, it's easy for you to shrug it off and just think, we'll bounce back, we're too good to... And that's fine, that's all right. Other people from outside can think, oh, what's going wrong at Liverpool, what's going wrong? But inside, as long as you're still thinking, yeah, we're still playing well, it's just a little blip. Now, obviously, the longer it goes on, the more you could start doubting it, and your confidence can start going, maybe. At the moment, I still think they're playing well enough and feeling well enough about themselves. Lots of fit players, lots of chances being created.
Lots of chances.
Exactly. I still think they'll come off the pitch today not having their confidence battered at all. I think they'll still be thinking, do you know what? We're playing well enough to win games. It's just not going our way at the moment. And that's really important, because once your confidence, once your self-belief starts going, then you can slide away. But I do think it's just a blip in their season. I think they're playing well enough for us not to think it's a crisis. And I think the stats today will show that.
And I also think the timing of the season, when you have that run or you have that blip, is massive. The finishing line's a long, long way away yet. So actually to have this blip, and I know, you know, to win the league now, you've got to win more games than probably I was fortunate enough to do back in the day. But I think as momentum goes, if this was February, March, and coming towards the end, you'd be like, there's a fragility there. I think there's more than enough time to put a run together before the end of the season. It just feels at the moment it's a bit of a run. But I think they'll get through it. I think there's plenty of time and there's plenty of football to go, and there's enough good signs for Liverpool to march on.
And talking of belief, what does it do to a United player to win at Anfield? As I mentioned to Matthias de Ligt, only 3 teams have done that, you know, in a long time in the Premier League at Anfield.
I think it's probably bigger than we can all appreciate. from an individual point of view as well, of each player going through it and feeling it. Experiences kind of set you up, positive and negative, but to actually feel a big win like that at a time when they really needed it, to pull them together, to give them that confidence to think, actually, we can do this. It's hard to put kind of a gauge on how much that is, but individually and as a person and as a character, I think it gives you so much. It's what's happened next. It always is win, lose or draw, but I think that's a really, really big one today.
Really have done it before. I mean, I'm sure there's one or two players.
You could hear Harry Maguire, couldn't you? What it meant?
Exactly. This is a new experience for them, and they've not had much success as a team. I mean, talk about past teams winning titles and winning things like this. This could be as big a win as they've had as that squad, so it'll do wonders for their confidence.
Carrick. And we will start with the big one at Anfield that these two between them have played in 39 times. Manchester United hadn't won at Anfield since 2016. What a start they got in this one, Michael.
Incredible start. I mean, you can't leave the dressing room really thinking this is going to happen, you know. You plan to start well and you plan to work into the game. And then they get a chance like this. Ahmad, lovely little pass down the side, and Buemo running off the back of Van Dijk, and 60 seconds into the game, 1-0, and absolute dreamland for United. You can't plan for that. You can't hope for that, really, you know. And from a Liverpool point of view, you know, it was a soft goal, really. It was a simple goal in some ways, but the quality was there. United took the lead.
Liverpool look back on a list of opportunities not taken, Michael.
They certainly will. That was a big chance from Isak. I felt he had a lot of the goal to aim at there. You can see he's well onside. He makes his run, times his run. I thought the goalkeeper could have come out, actually, and snuffed that out, but he didn't. He stayed on his line and gave Isak a big chance, but he had it saved. And then, of course, it was chance after chance. This is another big one. Mo Salah, not in the greatest of form at the moment. His touch was only average. He was a little bit stuck underneath him. He went for a bit of power, and that went sailing wide. And then Gakpo cuts inside. He did this a couple of times. Hit the post in the first half. This time he was in the middle of the goal. Actually, he miskicked that. He nearly missed it. He went to the side netting, but a lot of people thought it could have been offside at first glance, but when VAR checked it, it was onside, and it's set up for a great grandstand finish. You think Liverpool are going to go ahead and win the game, but United had other ideas, Michael.
Yeah, Harry Maguire pops up to the back post in an absolutely huge moment. You know, 86 minutes, was it? 87 minutes. It was just when they needed it, really. Liverpool, the team pushing for it, and it looked like probably they had a chance to go on and win it, but massive goal for Harry, massive time to get your goal, really, and there was still a little bit left in the game, and still another chance. Gakpo, you know, it's an unbelievable opportunity at that stage in the game, and he probably could have had 3 or 4 today, but as that goes, that was the last chance, really, and the result was what it was.
Yeah, and it's a terrific day for Ruben Amorim and for Manchester United, and of course for that man, the match winner Harry Maguire. A focal goal for him. Back into a very happy dressing room. And Michael, you know what that's like, to go into a dressing room at Anfield and win.
That's for me, that's the best part of the whole day. That's the best part of the whole day. I think you know, before the game, you go into the game and you people talk about enjoying it. You don't. You're so focused.
You're suffering on the pitch.
You're suffering because it means so much, and you're so focused, and you want it's business, and you understand the whole game and what it is, and it puts that intensity, that focus, the concentration, and your will to win is so that you don't really take it in. You don't smile and enjoy it. But certainly going into the changing room after a game like that, when you've had such a big win, they're the things that we miss, huh? They're the best moments, apart from scoring goals like he did. That walking into a changing room like that.
That's the only bit that I enjoyed about playing as well. As you say, I mean, people think football is so much fun, and of course it is, training every week. But when it's game day, it's serious. You can't lose. You know, the pressure's on. The fans are there. You don't want to let anybody down. Don't let the team, your teammates down. And a lot of the time when you're playing in these games, you're playing against good players, and it makes you suffer. You're having to run harder, concentrate harder. You're exhausted by the end of the game. And as Michael says, you get into the change rooms after and everything has gone well, you've won the game. At last, you can enjoy it.
Well, let's get some Manchester United reaction. Ruben Amorim in a moment. But first of all, the match winner who'd been to Anfield every time before today as a United player and not got that winning feeling. He did, courtesy of his goal. Here's Harry Maguire.
Well, Harry, last year at the same end, so nearly the hero. This year, you made it count. We saw the celebrations at the end. Does that just mean everything?
Yeah, it means everything. I mean, listen, they've had the better of us over the last few years. We know that, and it's not been good enough for our club, and we've not given our fans nowhere near enough days like today. So it's been a long time coming to this ground and picking up 3 points. But it means. I think it's the old cliche, it's only 3 points, but it's definitely not. It means a lot more than that to the boys, to the clubs, to the fans. I've been here 7 years now, and to come to this ground every time and not get 3 points has been tough. So yeah, it's for the fans, and I hope they have a great night tonight, because of course it is only 3 points on the table, but to come here and do it over Liverpool, and like I said, they have been a top team over the years, and they've been a lot better in recent years, so it's nice to get one over them.
Well, Ruben, I'm conscious that the questions for you in these interviews are often quite dramatic. If you lose, it's a disaster. If you win, it's a transformational moment. Nonetheless, was that perhaps the biggest win of your time as Manchester United manager?
Yeah, I think so. It doesn't mean a lot. It means today, but tomorrow is not going to mean a lot. It's 3 points, but it's a good victory. But I will do the same thing that I did in the last games, is try to see the game, try to, in key points we had some luck, but we fought for every ball. We lost our composure a little bit in the second half, but the most important thing, the spirit was there, and that is the beginning of everything. And sometimes you play more with the ball, and other days you play without the ball, but if you have the spirit, you can win any game.
Well, he's only the third Premier League manager to win a league game at Anfield in the last 3 years, and the first Manchester United one since Louis van Gaal back in 2016, courtesy of Harry Maguire, who you worked with day in, day out, who you know very, very well, who's been through the mill, it's fair to say, in his United career. How much did he deserve that moment today, Michael?
Honestly, he's probably the number one choice for me. For everything that he's been through, he's been to the extreme, really, and sample what it's really like to play for Manchester United. And he certainly had probably more downs than ups. But today is, I'm sure, the way he felt as that went in and the final whistle went, and he was the hero. I'm sure that was probably his best moment, I have to say. He's done it enough times. He's scored a lot of late goals over the time that he's been at the club, and especially over the last year or so, and he stepped up, and he's always fronted up. He's always been there. He's always put himself out. He's played. He puts himself in areas where he almost, some players will hide and shelter themselves, even in games, you know. And he puts himself in there. He defends the box. He goes in there, and he's prepared to go in there and maybe miss a chance, but to score a goal. And his character and mentality shone through. So I'm absolutely delighted for him today, you know, because your intentions and your attitude go a long way, and you always hope that if you keep doing the right things, you'll get your rewards. And it's one moment, but it's a huge moment for him today.
Imagine how thick his skin is after all those years. I mean, there's been so many disappointments. Managers have changed over the years, so they might only get a year or two of going through the mill. Harry Maguire's been there
when
7 years.
Ollie and Michael were there, obviously he was their captain. He had that taken off him, didn't he, by the previous manager?
Well, as I say,
left out of the team.
The first thing I said there is, imagine how thick his skin is. I mean, there's some really tough jobs in this world. I think Manchester United's captain, Manchester United centre-half over the last 7 years is right up there with one of the tougher jobs. Not for the faint-hearted, and it must have really built his character. And, he's still there, he's still standing, he's still performing. He's obviously scored the winner at Anfield, and that'll taste so good to him. I think his best times over the years have probably been in an England shirt, because that's where he's had the most success in recent years. Even though England have not won anything, they've gone deep into top competitions, and he's been a pivotal part of that. But I think that will really top it for Harry Maguire, and obviously it's down to Manchester United now to continue this run. How many times have we said, is this the corner turned? It has to be.
We have to ask that question, because for the first time under Ruben Amorim, they finally won back-to-back league games, which sounds extraordinary to say, but could this be a catalyst for some consistency now?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I think, it's like Harry said, about 3 points is the cliche of 3 points, but that emotion deep down, that feeling that you gain from and experience from a result like that, that even the back-to-back games and the back-to-back wins probably won't be on their agenda right now. It's the fact they've gone to Liverpool and won, and it's hard to describe. You can talk tactics, you can talk about the game to players, but in terms of when they go there and feel the occasion and together and look towards each other and think, I know what you can do, you stood by me and we trust each other, that takes a big lift from a result like that. Of course, it's what's next and the game's coming up and there'll be tests ahead. There always is. But I think they'll take a huge amount from that, the staff, the manager and the players.
Let's go to Anfield, get some more reaction. Liverpool legend John Barnes been there for all day for us, pitch side. How do you reflect on that today, John?
What I said at the start of the game, that it depends on what Man United turn up, which Manchester United turns up. And I didn't mean which Manchester United in possession, because in possession with Mbuemo and Cunha, Fernandes, they've got lots of good players. It's which Manchester United when they haven't got the ball. And the Man United off the ball after going 1-0 up, having to defend deep, they put on a proper performance. It was the proper Manchester United that turned up. The first goal helped them, which meant they could defend deep and defend the lead. Obviously, when Liverpool equalised, we felt it was only going to go one way, but they showed the character and the determination. So I was always worried if Manchester United turned up and played properly when they haven't got the ball. The problem they'll have moving forward is obviously do they do this in every game? When they play the so-called lesser teams, are they going to perform like this? Yes, Man City, they beat them in the cup final. The big games they turn up, but the consistency is their attitude and their commitment and their determination without the ball that they show today, which will help them moving forward if they do that.
What about Liverpool? Michael says he's not too worried because they're creating chances. They've been fine lines in each and every one of these defeats.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not worried at all. Because, of course, you look at the performances, and the performances warranted, even today, they didn't warrant losing. They lost to Chelsea, who are a good team. So as long as they put in the performance, Liverpool are a bit different. Because regardless of who they play with the right commitment, determination, effort. So you'll win more games than you lose. So they lost today. Yes, they've lost against Chelsea and they've lost a few games. But if they continue to play this, they'll be fine. So, and once again, we assume that because we then spent 200 million on Wirtz and Isak and Ekitike, things are just going to fall into place. They're young players trying to get the balance right between attack and defence. We're finding our feet. But I have no worries about Liverpool. I'm not saying they're going to go and win the league, but they'll play consistently well and be right up there come the end of the season.
John, we spoke a little bit before the game about Mo Salah. Again, no goals today, a couple of missed chances. I mean, your opinion, and I think what we said before the game as well with Michael, it will come for Mo Salah. He's done it for many, many years. The longer this goes on, though, I mean, I can't think of lots and lots of games you went without scoring. The longer it goes on for him, does it matter to him? Do you think he'll be worried? Do you think the manager will be worried? Do you think he could actually move him out? Because there's so many different options now.
Well, I don't think he'll necessarily be worried, but I think that what has happened is that Liverpool are now a different team with different players playing in a different style. In the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years, the team has been designed and set up for Mo to score goals, be it Trent creating it, be it anybody creating for Mo, Bobby Firmino. Whereas now, once you have Isak and you have Wirtz and you have Ekitike, we're now doing different things. Everything is not just for Mo to score. So the fact that Mo won't be as impactful has nothing to do with him himself. It's to do with the nature of the team, meaning that we're going to share the creativity. Everything's not going to go through Mo. Wirtz himself, in terms of him being the number one at Bayer Leverkusen, where everything went through him, he hasn't necessarily showed the same form here because everything is now not going to go through him. But the team's still good enough as a combination of different people being creative in different ways rather than one person to win football matches. So I have no fears about Mo, no.
And just finally, John, what about Liverpool at the other end? They're giving up chances again today. 2 clean sheets in 17 games. Is that understandable given the inconsistency, the way that the back four's been this season?
Well, I don't look at it from a back four perspective. I look at it from a whole team defensive perspective. Remember when we had, Fabinho and Milner and Henderson defensive midfield players, the fullbacks could attack, everyone attacks. Now our midfield is very creative. So we're very creative in midfield. But out of possession, we have to look at transitions when we haven't got the ball, how teams are causing us problems, like when Semenyo scored against us when he ran from his own half. So one thing, thinking that the solution to the problem is just signing great attacking players that we have. But the balance as a team defensively, when we haven't got the ball, not today because Man United sat back, but we have to get that right in terms of defending better as a team rather than just looking at it as a back four problem.
Top stuff, John. Thanks for all your work today.
Thanks, guys.
John Barnes at Anfield giving his opinion. Here is the opinion of the Liverpool manager, Arne Slot.
Arne, can you tell us the story of the match from your point of view?
It's always difficult to play against a team that defends in the low block, that mainly plays the long ball. But it makes it even more difficult if you go 1-0 down after 1 minute after a player of us is on the floor. And then I think if you would have told me before the game that against the low block, against the team that plays so many long balls, we would have created as much chances as we did, I would have not expected us to lose this game of football. But that's what we did. So again, enough chances to score more than one goal. But on the other hand, again, conceding two, where one of the two was a set piece.
Is that kind of a repeat of the last couple of Premier League games? It's a similar thing you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's, of course, we concede maybe one or two extra chances apart from the two goals we've conceded, but that's also the risk you take if you're 1-0 down. So we always have to take a lot of risk, and if you then take that into account, that we hardly give away a chance, and then we are waiting for us to score a goal, and we have to defend the set piece. And like against Palace, and like a few other moments this season, we've conceded in a set piece, and that's hard to take because it's very difficult to win a game of football if you have a negative balance in the set pieces.
The triple change certainly had a positive effect. Did you feel at that point we're going to go on and turn this right around?
I think people tend to forget how many chances we've already had when we were 1-0 down in the first half, because if you're 1-0 down, it's quite normal that people focus on the ball that you play wrong or a moment that you wait where you could have played forward and you don't. But Alexander Isak, first half, 1-on-1 to the goalkeeper, Cody Gakpo hitting the post twice. So even the first half, we've already had chances to go 1-1. But it's true that in the second half, this is mainly with us because the other team gets more and more tired. We create more and more. This happened against Palace, happened against Chelsea, happened today. This also has to do with the changes we've made, but also with the effort we put in the first half. Any
concerns over the run of results, or is it just something that you know will be rectified?
No, of course concerns if you win. If you lose 4 times in a row, you need to be concerned because you know how it works in football. If we can keep bringing these performances in, we will have a fair chance of winning more football games, and if we can do a few things a little bit better, we would even have a better chance of winning a game of football. But you're never 100% sure if the next game you're able to create 8, 9, 10 open chances. So yeah, but as long as these players are again a setback, again 1-0 down, again playing so many times with 1-0 down and coming back in the way we did, if that mentality is there, there's a lot to take into the upcoming games. But losing 4 times in a row definitely does something with the team.
Yeah, well, 4 in a row in all competitions hasn't happened since 2014. Brendan Rodgers was the last Liverpool manager to endure a run like that. But in terms of the chances created, he's talking about that. I mean, 19 shots they had today, Liverpool, 6 of them on target. Do you feel on another day they could have easily scored 2 or 3?
Absolutely, yeah. I thought he summed it up really well, very honest. Of course it's a concern losing games. They can't afford to really lose many more. I think that's, 4 points behind Arsenal already. They've lost a game in the Champions League. It's not a disaster at the moment. It could turn into one if it continues. However, based on the facts and based on what we've seen and how well Liverpool are playing, I'm not saying they're absolutely at their top, their full throttle at the moment, but they are certainly playing well enough to win games. Certainly, if they just play that well as they played today, they'll win more often than they'll lose. Now, they need to probably play even better to become champions. But it's certainly not, that team is not devoid of confidence. They're creating chances, conceding a couple of chances themselves, which is not ideal, but they've got so many great players in so many attacking areas. They can change their whole attack today and have a new burst of energy, a new sort of last 20 minutes or so. It's again, right, it's new players, it's new chances, and they get a goal and you think, wow, it's going to happen. They're going to get another one here. So there's lots to be positive about, but of course, you'd be stupid to say, yeah, no concerns at all, everything's rosy in the garden. They've lost 4 on the spin. It's not ideal, but there's plenty going on that I see that's positive.
Do you know, in the bigger picture, though, as well, for me, it's 4 points at the moment. If it's 4 points in February, they're right in the mix.
Yeah.
March even, if it's Arsenal at the top, they've never won it before. So you're almost banking on them it's going to be hard to get over the line. So actually, the bigger picture, 4 points is not the end of the world. It's what happens next.
Can I point out the bigger picture is 3 weeks ago, Liverpool were 5 points clear of Arsenal, and Arsenal fans are worried about Liverpool going outside.
And that's how it can flip so quickly. And we're in a marathon here, and we've just kind of started, really. So I think there's that. The other kind of influence and effect it can have, though, if there's that bit of goals going in against you and there's the little chink in the armour, all of a sudden the games that are coming up go a bit of a different perspective in terms of the opposition. So Liverpool's players might be a little bit, instead of being here and playing it's Brentford next, isn't it? And they go in, Brentford might be thinking, if Liverpool are looking invincible, they're thinking, tough game this, you know, we can't score against them and they're dangerous. And all of a sudden, Liverpool's a little better. Brentford all of a thinking, oh, you know, Liverpool, we might get something today. And that's what they have to get, almost nip in the bud quick and get that invincibility and that aura back.
Fear factor,
because I think that, as much as the results, I think, going on the pitch against them, that's a massive factor. So the quicker they can get back onto that road again, it'll help them and make games easier before they even get on the pitch.
And getting their big players firing again. I mean, if you look at the record signing Isak and Mo Salah, who I know we talked about earlier in the day, hasn't scored from open play in the Premier League this season. Do you think sooner or later those two are going to click, and then that will be a huge difference to what we're talking about?
Well, it will, as soon, and they will click, won't they? I mean, if there's any two players in the Premier League that you know you shouldn't have doubts about, it's these two. Years and years and years. I mean, his cabinets are bursting with golden boots. So, like, who am I? Who's anybody to doubt him? Isak is one of the best players on this planet. Best strikers, certainly. I mean, he's been doing it in this league. So there's no question at all that these two are going to be banging in goals. No question. And the beauty of it for Liverpool is, do you know what? If they are struggling after an hour, then they can bring Ekitike on. They can bring Wirtz on. They can bring all these superstars on. And, you know, I thought Ekitike made a real difference when he came on. Gakpo's playing really well. He missed a few chances today, but he's the most improved player in a Liverpool shirt, him and Gravenberch, over the last year or two. So there's lots going on. There's lots of different options if they should be struggling. Now, they are at the moment, but, you know, only a fool would write them off for the long term.
Defensively, though, I mentioned it to John, 2 clean sheets in 17. Arsenal kept 8 already this season.
That's the talking about that chink and that almost giving other teams a bit of hope, if you like. Probably going against Arsenal at the minute thinking this is going to be a real tough game, that they don't give much away and it's difficult to score and they're dangerous in different ways against Arsenal set plays and dangerous in free play, where Liverpool are just giving teams now, after that run, that little bit of hope, too much hope, really. So it's pretty obvious, you know, you need to score and you need to stop conceding goals, but the goals will come. So, you know, you're talking about the calibers of player that have been there and done it, especially Salah, and knows they'll turn up. But defensively, they do need to nip that, because it's very difficult to then rely on extra goals, 2-3 goals to win games. You can't do that every week.
And that is the makeup of both teams, though, as well, isn't it? I mean, Arsenal are extremely solid as a defensive unit. They don't create as much as Liverpool. They're not as good on the eye as Liverpool. When both teams are purring, when both teams are at full throttle, I mean, Liverpool can blow teams away 5 or 6-0. I don't really see that with Arsenal, but Arsenal just don't concede. So it is... I know what you're saying about how many Arsenal concede, but Liverpool create more chances. Liverpool are going to win more games 4-2 than Arsenal. Arsenal will win 1-0, as they're famous for doing, like they did at the weekend. But so I wouldn't be so concerned about comparing like for like. I think these two teams are very different. Liverpool really need to get their scoring boots on, because they almost need to outscore teams as opposed to nick games 1-0. Whereas Arsenal, it's about, can they score the chance that they get, or the one chance that they, out of 3 or 4 that they get, because they're going to keep a clean sheet. So very different teams, but obviously Liverpool do need to stop the chances if they can.